Hello again, it's Elizabeth and I'm over here in my art loft, and I wanted to show you today how I've been doing my latest types of gel prints. These gel prints are, well, kind of whimsical with the kind of a splash going down this way, and the way that I've been doing them is using some string. So I already put this layer on my plate because I know that it takes a long time for it to dry. So I thought I would put the second layer on it. This is a combination of extreme sheen silver, and I put a little pearl white in there from the Delta Ceramcoat paints. And then I'm going to put on this, which is a white and gold mixture. And I better put my apron on first because this stuff can get a little messy. Sometimes I flip the string a little bit and end up with it in various places. So it's best if I have my apron on and don't wear too much of it. And of course, my apron has to mess up getting on. Okay. So, you can see I have my string sticking out of my bottle. I put extra water in there so that it'll be kind of thin paint. But I do just put the string down in there and let it just sit while it's not being used. And then sometimes I shake it. Shaking it sometimes will make your string tangle up a little bit, which is not so good. The kind of string I'm using, which I know is going to be your next question, is I think it's 40% acrylic yarn, but it's not very thick string. And you want to leave this over the top of your gel plate as you're opening the string. And then I have to maneuver around my phone so that I don't make it full of stuff. And sometimes you want to do it in little swirls or whatever. But as you move the string, then you get these lovely little fishtails, I think of them as, but they're lovely little arcs and or streamers of the paint. And you can usually move my board around. So I'm doing this so I can get some different angles on things. And if you let if the string goes slowly and kind of roll off, then it gives you some interesting things. Kind of hesitate as it's going off the edge of the board. Then you can see these little, oops, don't slide away, these little wave patterns here where it has the diagonal. Now to put the string back in your bottle, that is sometimes a difficult thing. What I usually do is to squeeze the little bottom of it together and get that started into the bottle. Come on, get into the bottle. And then I find it, once it gets started and gets down in there, it's easy, and of course it's not going to do it today, but it's easiest if you just can kind of bring the bottle up to the string. There we go. And you can see that the string is just going down into the bottle. And that's what the yarn looks like. It's actually got some sparkly in the yarn itself. But that's what the yarn looks like that I'm using. You can experiment, I'm sure, with different size yarn, different size. You could use chain. I've seen this done on other types of paintings, but I've never seen it done on the gel print before. And I really like the results I'm getting from it. I think they're quite fluid and dynamic. I put a picture of it up on one of the gel print sites I'm a member of, and there were all kinds of interpretations. I asked if it looked like fabric or water, and it was divided about half and half on that. Now, two things to know. If you put a new layer of paint over the top of the old layer of paint, then you will have your two distinct layers. If you, on the other hand, put a second layer when the first one, and I know my plate is a little bit green, so it makes it hard to see through. But if you put a second layer on top when the layer is not dry, because this gold is not dry, and if we now put a blue layer on top of that, then it will move the yellow paint as well. It'll move the yellow paint around as well. In fact, I don't know if I've got quite enough blue, so let me put a little bit more in this bottle, along with a tad bit of water, so that we have, oh, I like this color here. We'll try this one. No, yeah, that's the one I want. Another mixed paint, and this one I can't really tell you all the different colors that are in this blue paint. I put some phthalo blue, I know, in, but I also put some whatever that bottle it says itself. This is pine green, so I started with a little bit of pine green, put some phthalo blue in. I'm now putting in some azure blue, and of course water, so that it is thinned down enough so that it will cling to the threads without being too wet in the meantime. Just the right wetness. And again, you need to experiment with that, because if it's too wet, then you get kind of a sloshy veil on your plate, and if it's too dry, then it'll give you a little bit of the net looking stuff, but you won't get any of these flow looking things. So there's a lot of different variety of different things that can go wrong or go right. I'm going to shake this up a little bit. We'll see how bad our string gets in this one. And I have to stand up to do this because my arm's not long enough. My string is about a yard and a half or 2 yards long, so if I'm sitting down, it doesn't actually come up out of the bottle. Now I am scraping it against the side of the bottle as I pick it up, so that means that it's not getting fully loaded with paint. It's only got the paint on the one side. So this one's pretty long too. Come on, bottle. There you are. Okay, we're going to try and see if we can make some little swirls with this. And I think there looks like a good place for it. And it looks like it should be pulled from the other side, so I'm going to turn this around. You can already see what that string's doing. I like that. It's not an exact science, obviously. You have to just go with the flow. And sometimes pulling the threads in different directions, one in one direction, one in the other direction, makes a whole difference too. We've got kind of a little knot in the middle there. And there we go. I like that. I like this person looking thing down here. I think I'm going to quit with that instead of adding. I usually kind of balance out my colors, like I would put blue at the top or whatever else, but I think I kind of like the dynamics of this. The other thing is when you're picking it up, you may or may not get exactly what you see there, because of course we have 3 layers of paint on the plate already. And with 3 layers of paint on the plate, then when you're picking up a layer, even if you're using your wet method of just a little bit to pick up everything that's on the plate, sometimes you won't get all three of those layers at one time. So I'd like to let this dry before I pick it up, but then again, it's going to take a while for this right here to dry. So what I do, I'll use my fan for a little while, and I'll see if I can't fast forward to this whenever I'm actually showing the video. So let me give a little fan to that. And of course it moves my camera, so I apologize if you get it seasick or anything. See, there's my fan. You can pick it up and look at the other side and see what it looks like from there. I know we won't have this person here because that's on top of 2 layers already. But we do have some of the blue. And you can see, maybe you can see, I can see, with the light through it. Can you see with the light through it how it Has the different colors and the mixture of the paints there. Let's see what we get. Another thing you can do with it is to pick up part of it by putting your putting your paper down, but not pushing it down as hard as you could. And when you put your paper down very lightly, then you'll get just more or less this top layer. So let's just try that really quick, because I don't want to wait for it to dry. I'm always so impatient. And I'm just rubbing ever so lightly just to see what we get from the top layer of paint. And it took most of the blue off, but hey, I like that. Came out kind of neat. Okay, I'm going to go put this on the floor, and then we'll pick up the rest of that with something. That came out pretty good. Okay, so if we pick it up with a colored paint, then of course that colored paint will make a difference as to what we'll actually see. So my most recent tests are to pick it up with acrylic matte medium. This is actually Daniel Smith acrylic matte medium. And I put two layers of wax paper in there, because then one sticks to the bottom, to the bottle itself, and the second one sticks to the top, and that way you can get the thing open, because otherwise I was having to do horrible things to my bottle to try to get it open. And I'll put another layer of wax paper on that before I close it up. Okay, and where did my spoon go? Why is nothing here when I need it? Here's a spoon. Now I know I still haven't let the blue dry entirely, and I'm going to hope that it stays where it is mostly, but I'm not going to count on it. You have to give it a generous portion of the matte medium, because you don't want the, I'm just going to leave that in there right now. You don't want the matte medium to pick up stuff as you go. Okay, so we're just going to roll this on. And we really don't want a very thick coating at all, because if you have a very thick coating, it will pick up just the matte medium itself, and it will not pick up the stuff below it. So take a little bit more of that off by rolling it over here to the side on a piece of paper. And one more time, and then we should have the perfect amount. Let's see. Try to get as smooth a coat as you can get, of course, naturally. Okay, I'm going to pick this up with a piece of black paper. I think it'll look nice against that. Maybe white. No. Oh, such decisions, I tell you. I'm going to try black. Although the blue sometimes gets lost with the black. Now I am pushing hard this time, going all over it, making sure that I have a good adhesion. You can see that I've been doing this for a while. You can see all around the edge has the little whip marks of the string as it was being pulled, the yarn as it was being pulled off the plate. another piece of wax paper for my gel medium. While that's drying a little on there. Okay. I need a paper towel. I know, it's lots of fun watching paint dry, isn't it? But if we get beautiful results, it's worth it. Put the wax paper there. And wax paper there. If you have one layer of wax paper, it can get stuck to both and never come loose. But with 2 layers, you'll get it open every time. So that's my hint of the day. Okay, let's see what you feel like. Feels like it's getting ready to come up. Let's look at it. See how much we get. Okay, guys, here we go. Oh, that's interesting, but it's not what I was expecting, and nor is it what I really wanted. We've got a lot of just, this part worked really well. I guess it was thinner there, huh? Okay, well, we've got another pull to go. Let's see if we can get the rest of that. Let's do it with a color then. It's not going to work with that. We'll try our tried and true, trusty Extreme Sheen Gold that almost works every time when you're wanting to pick up stuff. If you can get stuff out of the bottle, that is. Okay, let's try this. This stuff sparkles so much. I love it. Such a pretty gold. So we've picked up a lot of the paints that were on that side. So let's make sure we've got a nice shimmery thin coat. But wet enough that it will still pick up this stuff. Okay, that looks good. And I think I'm going to try white. So I just have a feeling. We'll see more of the blue, I think, if we do the white. I'm going to say our black didn't do so well, but the first one did. The first one came out pretty neat. Pushing hard again. Make sure I'm all over the plate multiple times. You can kind of feel it as it dries. It's always cooler to the touch when it's not, when it's still very wet. Come on, baby. Make sure the middle gets done. Okay, cross your fingers. Well, most of it came up. So this print is interesting. There would be bits that you could use. I don't know about the whole thing. Silver didn't do what I wanted it to do. Maybe I let it dry too long. And there's lots of gold there still, so we need something so that the gold will show. So let's see what we want to do with that. So we still got a lot on our plate. I think I'm going to use this as a, like a peeling paint, which it is, of course. The paint's just peeled off of it, but peeling paint type thing. So I'm going to give it a brown if I can find one. A chocolate cherry there. What is this one? Oh, that's not a brown. That's a pretty color. That's a garnet extreme sheen metallic. I do like the metallics, yes. But we're not going to use that. We're going to use plain pine green this time. We'll see if that'll work. Get the little thing off the front. Delta Ceramcoat pine green. Okay. That's up my beautiful golden brayer. Get my corners. Okay. Great. Some little nubbies on my brayer. Let's take just a little bit of that off. Ah, this looks like it's going to work. Okay, use the white again. So if you've built up the layers on your plate and you've let them dry, sometimes you can pull off a part of one at one time, but what you have to do is to have really light amount of paint to pull it up and to have and really push it down, push your paper down against the paint so that it adheres and starts picking up that, peeling up that paint. Okay, let's see if we can get a good one here. Lifting the whole plate. And there's a green with some gold on it. That'd work for a little bit of something. And our plate still has just shadows here and there, so that's not bad. Let me go put these on my drying rack. I will show you one I did earlier. This one had the gold put down first, and then I put the blue on it. No, I put silver on it. No, put the blue on it, and then I put silver on top and to pick it up. And when I put the silver on top, I pulled the print off of it, and it was like totally silver. And took up a little bit of the blue and left a little bit of silver there, and then I pulled this print as the second print off of it without even putting any more paint on because I had had too much silver on there. But I'm really happy with that one. I think it looks like a wave of some sort on the edges. But anyway, you can see that you can get some really interesting effects by using a string to put your paint on there. I thinned the paint probably 50% with water, maybe 30 to 50% with water. I mixed my paint so it's not just straight any one color. That's kind of just more exciting. And I just stuck a string down in it, and the string's about 1.5 yards long, and doubled it in half and stuck it down in it and let it soak up the paint, and then pull the string out, twirled it or put it on my plate, however, and that's how I made those prints. Thank you for watching. If you like what you see, subscribe. If you don't like what you see, you could check back sometime. You might see something different. Thank you, and don't forget to thumbs up if you like it. Leave me a comment if you have a question or if you just have a comment. Thank you very much. Bye.